Good. Hey guys, Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, and Buddha. You notice I got a stim collar on him. I've had it on him with no, not being on. In other words, I haven't turned it on for the 3 days. Off and on, I've had it on. Today is the first day that I'm working with it. First thing I did was worked out his working level. And I went from a 1 to 2 all the way up to about a 7 where he starts to cock his head and he knows there's something going on. So that's our working level at this point in time. Keep in mind that changes depending on the distractions, etc. So right now I'm doing is what we call a 3-way turnoff, meaning I'll do 3 exercises. First one is usually, sorry about that, is usually always the come or just turning around to me. So I'll say his name, hit the button right when I say the name. Buddha. Good boy. Now that's a 7. He reacted well. That was higher than a 7. So I need to. Buddha. Good boy. Good. There you go. Good. Good boy, Buddha. Good. So I'm trying to give him a positive association towards it. You notice in reaction, it was up a little higher. It was in my pocket. Good boy, Buddha. Good. So I go long line. You go, Freehund. Good. And I'll let him do his own thing. Good boy, Buddha. Come on. You go, Freehund. Usually we're out here and we're doing work, so he's right away wanting to do the agility because that's where we come out of here. You go, Freehund. You go, Freehund, Buddha. Good boy. Good. Good boy. You're okay. Good boy. He's already very keenly aware of it. Even a large dog like this, it's a matter of just being able to feel it. Now you've got to teach him what that feeling means. Buddha. Good boy. Yay. Good boy. And he felt that was about perfect. He felt that he kind of wanted to kick it off, and as soon as he turned to me, I let go of the button. So that's what you're trying to do. Convey the thought to him that when he complies or does something when I say his name, Buddha, good boy, yay, good boy. All right, good boy, Buddha, good. And that's at about a 7. I'm going to go down to a 6, but that's just enough to really get the idea across to him. I don't want to overdo it. Good boy, Buddha, you go, Freehund. You go, Freehund. Good boy, Buddha, good. And we'll try to convey the thought that he's turning it off by complying, by turning around to me. Buddha, good boy, yay, good boy. And as soon as he turned and came right to me, I turn off the collar by letting go of the button, right? So it's a continuous stimulation. Button goes on when you start, button goes off when he starts to turn around. It doesn't need to come all the way to me. All I want the dog is to associate the fact that when he does the right thing by coming to me, when he hears his name, usually there's always some kind of response. Remember, I've already conditioned the dog with dog's name preparatory to an action, right? So right away, because of all that work that I put into my conditioning with dog's name, Buddha, down. Good. Conveying a thought to him, and I didn't hit a button on that one. I'm not doing it. I'm just talking to you guys now. But the first one will be him turning around to me. On a long line, him being released, him doing his own thing. Out of the blue, you'll say Buddha, and then right away when he comes in, you're a lot of praise, teaching him that that was the right answer, right? It's called avoidance or damn it, escape training. So he's basically turning off the collar. He's escaping that stimulation by complying with something that he already knows coming towards me. I reaffirm it with a lot of praise, going backwards, a lot of hot dogs, showing him that yes, that is the right answer, right? 2 and 2 always adds up to 4, right? Buddha, sit. Good. There you go. Good. Buddha, yep. You go, Freehund. You go, Freehund. Good. Now I want to free him up. Let him do his own thing, and I'll come back to this again. I gave him a little break. We did a couple other things. Now I'll come back to the same spot where I'm conveying a conditioning response, which is right when he comes to me. Good boy, Buddha. You go, Freehund. You go, Freehund. And he's a smart, intelligent dog, so he's already figuring this out. Good boy, Buddha. Good. There you go. I haven't touched the button. I'm not touching anything right now. I wish I had one of those squawk boxes to let you guys see where I'm hitting the button. Good boy, Buddha. Good boy. There is difference in what we're doing, though. Usually I'm out here working him or getting him to do agility or something like that, so he already knows something's going on. It's different, huh? It's different, huh, Buddha? Yeah, good boy, Buddha. You go, Freehund. You go, Freehund. We're going to go over to a post or a fence line, get him out there. Good boy. You go, Freehund. And free him up, basically. Good boy. That's good. You go, Freehund. You go, Freehund. Good. That's my boy. Good. Good boy, Buddha. And I've dropped the long line because he's already getting Mr. Velcro just on that little bit. And that was at about a 7 that he's feeling it. He can probably feel it a little bit lower, but it really was almost a perfect spot to put it because it's just enough discomfort for him to figure out that he's the one turning it off. So, good boy, Buddha. You go, Freehund. Good boy. Here we go. Buddha. Good boy. Yay, good boy. Good. Now I hit the button and I didn't have any signs from him that he was having it turned on, but I think it's his brain working it out, right? Good boy, good. Good boy, Buddha, good. That's my boy, good. Good boy. And he knows something's going on because this is all different than he's used to. Good boy. Good. See how stiff he is? I don't really care other than him conveying the idea to him of what the answer is, right? 2 and 2 adds up to 4, which means when he comes into me, right away the button goes away, the stimulation goes away. And it's on just low enough to kind of irritate him, something he's not used to feeling at all. He has no clue, he's confused. And then we teach him what that means with this first one. This is your first turn off. Then I'll do the table, jumping into it, and I'll ask him to go up, and I'll hit the button right before I give the command, or right as I give the command, and then I'll ask him to go to the table, and right when he touches it, the button will go away. The stimulation will go away. So he's learning how to turn this off. You're giving the power to the dog. We do generally three conditioning responses, usually the come, jumping up on the table for me, and then I also like to do the kennel because you ask him to go into the kennel so much, and there's a definite difference of surface area. Okay, think about the surface, the surface being this dirt, right? And when he's on this dirt, all of a sudden he touches that plastic that's inside that kennel, and right when he touches with his first 2 feet, it goes away because he's complying by going into the kennel, right? So we have 3 of these things that we work. We'll work this one for the first day. Tomorrow I might do 2 things, this one and the table, and the third one will be into that kennel. And I'll keep working that until the dog understands that he's the one turning off that by complying with what I'm asking him to do, right? That's giving the power to the dog. And after a while, I'll start building on that conditioning using the stim collar with other things. But the 3-way turnoff, the proper conditioning to the animal is the most important thing. You don't need to punish a dog. You only need to put it just to the level that he feels and he kind of responds to. And that could be given to you by you finding out the working level. How do you find out the working level? You have no stimulation. It's a neutral environment. Hit the button on a 1. He doesn't even notice it because 1's so low. 2, then you go 3, and then a lot of times about 4 to 6 to 8, the dog will start to feel it. And what he'll do is he'll kind of cock his ear. He'll have a little twitch. He won't have a response in pain because it's just enough to irritate him. It's all of a sudden, it's kind of like a mosquito bite, even lower than that. And then all of a sudden he feels it and the button goes away as soon as he feels it because all I'm looking for is working level. Once I figure out his working level, again, every day is different. So I may have a working level of a 2 one day and then it might be a 4 the next. You got to figure it out because it's all about where the dog's head's at in the work. It might be a fluid content in his body. It could be a lot of different things that allow him to feel the stimulation. You want him just to feel that little tingle. You don't need any more than that. You're not trying to punish the dog. You're trying to give the dog the ability to understand that he's got the power to turn this off when he complies with a command that he already knows, right? He knows Buddha most of the time is a come, but I'm not saying come. I'm just saying Buddha, meaning turn around and pay attention to me. So right now, my voice tone will be that way. I'm going to go ahead and do it when he's on the down. He's on we're on about an 8. I'm going to go to 7. Good. And I'm going to hit the button and say his name and then try to give encouragement for him to come back so that I can turn the button off. As soon as he comes my direction, I don't care that he's coming all the way. As soon as he turns around and starts to move in my direction, I'll let it go with a lot of praise, a lot of a normal conditioning, meaning moving backwards, the hot dogs, all of it that's on the positive side, right? Buddha? Yep. Come on, let's go. Come, Buddha. Yay, good boy. Good. You go free hunt. You go free hunt. I didn't want to mix down. Good boy. I want him distracted. Good boy, Buddha. But I don't want so much distraction that overwhelms that. Because remember what I explained to you. Distraction affects your ability for the dog to feel it, right? You want him to feel it so he starts to have the power, and you're conditioning the dog to get the understanding that he's the one by complying with a command that's turning off the collar. Right? There's no reason to use a stim collar for punishment unless we're dealing with higher drive states and we're working on other things. But you folks that are out there grabbing stim collars off the counter, and you think that punishment and a bigger stick is what you're using a stim collar for, are totally incorrect. There's no reason for that, okay? All you're doing is trying to set up a dog's conditioning so he understands this is a signal that means when I comply with something, if I do the right thing, that little stimulation, that little, almost like a tin machine, it's just kind of tip, 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 tip. It will go away when you comply with a command that you already know. Your job is to convey that to him. So this 3-way turnoff is something that's very similar. He's always been doing these comes. I've been doing the Buddha and moving backwards with the comes. I've been putting him up on the table. I've been putting him into kennels. These are things that he knows very, very well. And all you're trying to do is give the power to the dog and teach him to turn that stimulation off. That's the start of the conditioning of a stim collar, right? A lot of people might do it a little bit differently, but I like to convey it this way because I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Bottom line, punishment with a stim collar a lot of times is abusive because people want to use a bigger stick and get a dog to stop something. They think zapping the dog is an answer. It's not. It's a proper conditioning. Think about this. I've already conditioned this animal to understand no, good, and yes, have a full dialogue of heel, sit, down, stay, a come, and a finish. He's already learning all this stuff. He has a good understanding of communication and understands what I'm asking him to do with proper conditioning, right? The conditioning of his markers, no, good, and yes, have been installed. He has a very good understanding of what he's supposed to be doing in regards to his training. I've done everything in the right way. He's got all kinds of hot dogs, motivational with balls, all kinds of things that I'm using to get this dog motivated and drive and going in the right direction. I personally do not start installing a stim collar until I have that with the dog. Once I have that, I can start using the tool the way it should be used, okay? Now you remember that we had a trainer out there yesterday. I think I did a little post on it. Maybe some of you saw it on his channel where I was talking about this tool being a three-dimensional tool. What that means to me is that it's like chess. If I'm playing a game of chess and I've got one board, I've got to project my brain probably 3, 4, maybe even 5 moves ahead as I'm playing my other individual on the other side of the board, right? Now, have you ever played three-dimensional chess? That ability to stretch your brain and to be able to think in a three-dimensional fashion means it's a whole big, huge world of how to be able to vision that three-dimensional chessboard, okay? This is the same thing. The power of the stim collar is not in the ability to punish the animal. The power is in the understanding of how to use it, right? Proper conditioning, understanding marker training, understanding classical and operant conditioning. I never let anybody use a stim collar until I get to a certain point that I know that they understand this stuff, and then I would give that to the individual to be able to use, and I would teach them and work with them the whole way when they're doing it, okay? So it's very important. Education, as far as I'm concerned, is the answer. This other trainer was lamenting and a little bit of a rant in regards to assholes out there that don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're frying the dogs, and then he's getting these customers coming to him saying, you know, this guy did this or this girl did this and that, and they obviously don't know what the hell they're doing, okay? So the tool is a very excellent tool, but if it's used in the wrong way, it can be abusive, but so can feeding a dog too much. So can all kinds of different ways of being abusive to your animal, right? Even verbally being abusive to your animal is not good, right? So I'm going to let you go because I'm not concentrating on this, and I want to concentrate and do this right. He's at the right spot right now to start working into the stim collar, and I'll spend probably a week, week and a half, 2 weeks maybe even conditioning the dog into the kennel very slow and methodically, so I make sure that he understands what this stim collar is all about, and that I can have him, with his understanding, be very receptive to what this tool is all about, which is a signal. It's just kind of an extension of a leash if it's used the way I'm using it, right? Again, the tool is only as good as the person using it. So if the person's out there being an idiot and doing the wrong things, that means that he's being abusive and he's using the tool in the wrong way. That's the problem. It's not the tool. It's the person that's using that tool and doing it in the wrong way with a lack of understanding and education on what they're doing. And that's a lot of times because of these trainers that I call poofter trainers. They come out of blue and they think that they're going to become a professional trainer and hang a shingle up. I'll give you a good example of what I went through in my generation. Before they had the internet and everything, there wasn't as much of this instant gratification, watching things on the internet and thinking that you could just go poofed in, you don't have to work for things, right? Nowadays, the new generation, these kids don't know how to put in the work and pay their dues to earn something, right? And to become good at it. I took 2 years living in the back of a kennel, eat, breathe, and sleep dogs. And did a lot of growth and knowledge and all kinds of things that I did to acquire my skills. And I did it by living in the back of the kennel, having people that were working with me, being assigned. I was up to 10 dogs every 2 weeks, every month, that I had to turn out in different phases: on-leash, off-leash, on-leash protection, off-leash protection. I had a whole myriad of different things that I was dealing with these dogs that came at me, but I had a pretty good rate where I was turning out about 10 dogs a month that I was doing, okay? That means I had dogs under my belt. In other words, experience under my belt that was getting experience with time, different breeds, different problems, different individuals that caused the problems in their dogs. And that's the experience that you need to become a professional. If you don't have that and you think you're gonna watch videos online and you're gonna sit there and watch a little window and that's gonna give you the answer, no. You have to actually feel it and sense it and actually go out and put the work in and get the experience under your belt to be able to get to a point. Even when you go through a school like Michael Ellis or Tom Rose or any of these schools, they put you out there and they put you through a lot. But even then, I think they assign the students, maybe a dog or two. They've got their own dog. But it's a matter of how many dogs you got under your belt that's going to make a difference, right? Because now you're dealing with all kinds of different breeds. I've trained about every breed you could possibly think of. Lopsopsies, miniature pinchers, all kinds of small dogs, large dogs, it doesn't matter. I've dealt with almost every breed you can think of. I think this is about the second Dogo Argentina I've dealt with, but they're a great dog, and you start to be able to sense the dog's mental attitude based on what you're putting on them and who they are as an individual. And that ability to read the animal is the key, right? That takes experience to do that. So keep it in mind. Think about it when you go out there to shop for a dog trainer. Make sure you're doing the right thing to research the person you're working with and that they have the skill that's needed, that they're just not a kid putting up a shingle and saying, I'm a professional trainer. It's not going to do you a good thing, and most of these kids are charging god-awful money and not doing the job and doing what they need to do by their customer, and that's the end result. What are you turning out? What's the product that you're turning out when that customer brings you a dog? Are you able to handle the problems that they bring you? Are you able to understand the breeds well enough that you can turn out that product, and when you return the dog to the owner, that they have a good enough product that they can grow and learn with their dog and go from that to that next level? Because now you got to train the owner, right? When you do in kennel like I do, in kennel, in board type training, it takes you getting off the couch and putting in the work to learn. The dog's not a robot. He's not going to come home and keep those behaviors going. He's going to be trained to do the behaviors when he gets back, but those behaviors are going to slide. You need to get in and get off the couch and learn and have that relationship with your dog as an individual, because your dog respects everybody in the pack as an individual, okay? And he finds his place in that pack. The idea is that you're the alpha wolf, but that doesn't mean that you need to sit on the couch and not do anything with him. He's going to respect you for what you give him. And if you don't get out and work him, you don't do the right things, he doesn't give a hoot about you. They're a very self-serving, very selfish animal in their own way. They want what they want, right? And your job is to make them think that what they're getting is what they want is what you're giving them. Good boy. Come on, Buddha. Come on. Good boy. Good. All right, good. We're out of flow, aren't we? Usually I'm sitting here working the whole time and chattering to him and getting him to work. I'm not doing that right now. So he says, I'm just going to do what Dogo Argentina does. I'm just going to relax. Talk to you guys later. Have a good day.